What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day. I think we are getting our final big update for Battlefield 2042. Now, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I know DICE said that they weren't going to really go ahead and introduce anything else into this game because they're putting all focus on Battlefield 6. But I'm kind of happy that they went out with a little bit of a bang, although I don't think really anybody's going to care because this is Battlefield 2042. But I'll be honest, it wasn't that shabby. It sucks because this game is extraordinarily bland and lifeless, especially after playing something like Battlefield 6, even down to the gunplay. It's just, I don't think I'm going to be going back very consistently, besides to go ahead and grind out the free content that you can earn for Battlefield 6 throughout the pass. But overall, not a bad last, shot here. DICE, I'll be completely honest with you guys. First and foremost, they added back in Iwo Jima from Battlefield 5, from one of the best updates that Battlefield 5 probably ever gotten, the Pacific update. It's a little funny if you think about it, because they're adding in a map from an update that was the final update for Battlefield 5, the one that everybody wanted the most, and they cut it early instead of expanding on World War II, obviously, to support Battlefield 2042. And here we are at the end of Battlefield 2042's life cycle, and we're getting the final update of Battlefield 5. It's something about it right there, man. It's something about it. But pushing that aside, it actually is pretty cool within Battlefield 2042, and the atmosphere it's kind of awesome when it comes to the volcano erupting and everything is just kind of lava-fied, you know what I'm saying? It's a different feel. If I'm going to be honest with you guys, I know I'll probably get some hate for this. I kind of think this one looks visually better than the OG version of it in Battlefield 5. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but it looks really cool. And they also added some different combat zones to the overall map here. And I'll be real, it flows really nicely. I don't know if I'm going crazy, but maybe not even just looks, but also flow as well. I kind of prefer this version. It's not bad. It just sucks. It blows that it's in 2042, man. Imagine if this was ported over to Battlefield 6. That would go so unbelievably hard. The vibes, the looks of the overall map, the atmosphere of the core game itself with Battlefield 6. That would be phenomenal. But overall, I mean, as I stated, I can't hold Battlefield 2042 completely against them for putting this together. It's good, DICE. Seriously, it actually is a cool recreation. They're also adding in some exclusive Battlefield 6 rewards, which I think is kind of funny, because I feel like this is the only way they could really encourage anybody to really dive deep into this final, again, big content update for Battlefield 2042 is, by giving some free stuff to the Battlefield 6 lovers. But I gotta be real, this is some awesome content here. Of course, you're gonna have to grind through the Battle Pass to earn all of this stuff. But I mean, we're talking about the classics, ladies and gentlemen, especially going down to the operator skin. Oh man, I have to go ahead and unlock this for Battlefield 6. I know I stated I don't know how long I'm going to be able to play 2042, but I'm going to play it enough to go ahead and get through all of these rewards, guaranteed. And ladies and gentlemen, those aren't the only rewards that you can earn throughout this Battle Pass. There's a bunch of other stuff as well, but, as I stated already 1,000 times in this video, it's 2042. I genuinely don't know if anybody is going to want to truly grind this out, besides for the Battlefield 6 content, and I feel like once they get that content, they're bouncing. Now, again, you have to grind through the whole pass to get every last bit of the Battlefield 6 content, since the very last tier is going to be for that. But I don't know if anybody's going to use anything else. I don't think anybody's going to really hop back in. But what I will say, this is still my favorite part right now. Absolutely my favorite part of this update, because DICE really threw in some Easter eggs and just some funny things throughout this whole overall pass. And it just seems like they are trying to jokingly just basically say they're sorry for what they did with 2042. This game had a lot of bumps, had a lot of issues, not just with bugs and, performance, but just the core game of Battlefield itself was completely stripped from 2042. And it was a very rough time for the community. And throughout this whole pass, there's so many little things here and there that are just kind of, funny, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. A lot of it made me chuckle and smile. They also threw in a bunch of other classic things, not only just for the Battlefield 6 rewards, but for 2042 as well. Tons of things for, Bad Company, Battlefield 1, and, all of these different games. I am honestly pretty pleased with this final, just kind of send out of 2042. But I will say, I think a lot of people are going to consider that this game never happened. I'm just happy that DICE can kind of slowly recover, because seriously, if you watched Battlefield throughout the whole time of 2042, even with Battlefield 5 as well, there has been a lot of beef with the community and the development team. It's always been a problem. But when 2042 really crapped the bed, when it was really at its worst, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say you could completely see a change in DICE, but seriously, the way they communicated, the way they, really incorporate feedback completely changed. Although they have a massive publisher above their heads, like EA, typically you don't really see that much freedom when, you have a publisher like that. But even with that knowledge, they still put in, a decent amount of work when it comes to really listening up to the community. And honestly, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing within Battlefield 6 that, is good, not everything, obviously, because people are still concerned about some stuff, but a lot of the best changes were due to, again, criticism with 2042, the disaster that this game was, and all the things that we wanted to bring this franchise back to form. We're not completely there yet, but the communication has been so solid so far, and as I stated, that might not stay. That might completely go away. But I do appreciate DICE for doing such a thing, and I appreciate them for, again, joking around with a bit, just having a little bit of humor, laughing at their own failures, being able to own up to, yes, we messed up tremendously. We made such stupid decisions. We got to move on from that and make something better. I like that they can own up to this. You know what I'm saying? That is a huge step in the right direction. But please, for the love of God, never make anything similar to a game like 2042 ever again. And I'm not talking about like the atmosphere or time, but like 2042, if you look at all the concept art, the whole idea of this game was absolutely freaking phenomenal. Like not really an apocalyptic type of game, but when resources are low and, basically everybody's fighting for everything out there. It's just an awesome concept to a Battlefield game that could have really been cool. But then they made every single wrong gameplay decision ever known to mankind with 2042. And that is what just literally made the franchise tumble. We can't revisit whatever they were trying to do with this game. And hopefully we don't revisit it when it comes down to Battlefield 6. I'm still a little cautious about them trying to incorporate a BR. But what's giving me hope is that the base game, to me personally, is so much freaking fun. And the best part about it is that the BR map is nothing like the multiplayer maps. So as long as that's, a thing, and the BR map can be its own world, and then the multiplayer maps are specifically made around just being for multiplayer and nothing else for conquest breakthrough, what Battlefield's all about. And they can, again, make sure that all the fundamentals are in place and it's a good Battlefield game down to the core, then I might not be so worried about a BR being introduced. But only time will tell. Only time will tell, But ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it here. This is going to be probably the last big update we'll ever see for Battlefield 2042. In about 2 months, maybe even under 2 months, we are going to be having Battlefield 6. And for, I was going to say, a portion of the community, but probably for the majority, if not all of the community, Battlefield 2042 will be completely forgotten. And I promise you, more than probably half the audience will probably just not even consider it, as I stated before, part of the Battlefield lineup. I'm not going to lie. 2042 did bring some interesting things to the table. It didn't do everything in the world wrong. It had, maybe a few things that it actually, did that was positive. But as an overall Battlefield game, it was a very, very interesting time. And for all the people who actually stuck through it, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't grind through the whole thing of Battlefield 2042. I lasted for a good period, but I couldn't keep going. For those who did, bravo, you deserve a round of applause, because seriously, that must have been a tough one, and it probably took a lot of thick skin. But Ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post your daily at 8 morning Eastern Time. Everything between COD, Battlefield, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders, and sometimes we even go ahead and double upload at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So to stay notified on all those videos, subscribe and hit that bell. And last but not least, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch. And for those who don't know, the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 reveal is happening tomorrow. So I'll be streaming that. So if you guys want to come on through and hop in, find out what's going on, by all means, I've got a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.